Hey everybody, Coach Andy Wise here. We're out at Corona High School. I got my man Pep Fernandez and my favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.
And welcome to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. I'm Pep Fernandez. Thank you for joining us live and amplified here on Wednesday night. We have got a great show. We've got a lot of high school wrestling coming up. We got the Masters meet coming up on Friday and Saturday for the boys and girls. In a moment, we will hear from Jeslyn Ledesma from Arlington High School, CIF Southern Section champion for the Lions on the girls' side for the first time ever, the first one in program history for the Arlington girls wrestling team. We'll check in with Jeslyn on her Central Division championship going into Masters. We also have Temecula Valley's Noah Watkins helping Temecula Valley win their 37th league championship in a row. Also 40 CIF titles altogether with the individuals and the dual meets. And Noah also an individual champion at 215 in the Inland Division. We're also going to talk Centennial boys volleyball with my guy, Jerry Langarica. The coach is back in the Big 8 League at Centennial and ready to mix it up, as he says. We'll hear from him a little bit later in the show. We've also got Alexander Madison, Raiders running back, talk about being back home in San Bernardino and what his future looks like in the NFL. He's going to be a free agent in about 2 weeks here once the NFL season begins. In the free agency period, and we'll talk some high school basketball, including that big Poly versus Rancho Verde game last night that went down to the wire. So we got a great show. Make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel right now. All right, we start with some high school wrestling, and we had two Big Boost play of the week. Here was one of them. It was a bonus Big Boost. Inland Sports. Jeslyn Ledesma from Arlington High School pinning everybody, all of her opponents, en route to winning the championship at 155 pounds in the Central Division. As I mentioned, the first CIF champion for Arlington girls wrestling. And she's got big goals now as she gets to Masters. We had an exclusive interview with Jeslyn to talk about her season, winning at Masters and going to state and maybe competing for a state championship as well. She's a senior, so this is it. That's our Big Boost play of the week. And here's our interview with Jeslyn Ledesma from Arlington High School. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. She is a CIF Southern Section champion in the Central Division at 155 pounds. It is Arlington High School's Jeslyn Ledesma. And Jeslyn, congratulations on winning the CIF championship individually in your weight class. Was that the goal going into the meet, was to bring home that first place finish?
My goal overall, just thank you for congratulating me, but my goal overall was just to make it a Masters. I didn't care for my placing because I knew at Masters the whole goal was just to make it a state. But I worked hard, and I've been working hard, and that's what I just kept in my head. And I was fighting for that first place spot.
All right, so besides winning the title, finishing in first place in the Central Division, your awesome athletic director, Tacey Duncan, said she pinned everybody en route to win the championship. Did you feel like, I don't know, you were just dominating, you were locked in? I mean, how was that meet for you?
So I was very nervous going in because we did go up a division. We changed leagues, we changed everything. So I knew it was going to be a lot harder. I was going to face a lot harder competition, a lot harder girls, different, more competitive schools. So I was nervous. I didn't think I was going to get champion. Going into it, I just kept thinking oh, you worked hard for this. You've been working hard for this all summer. And my summer coaches would tell me just you always had to get number one, you always had to place, you always had to medal. So that was just my goal going into it. And that's what I just kept in my mind, is you worked for this, you were working hard for this. And it was like nerve-wracking going into each match. Like after each match, I was drenched in sweat just because of how nervous I was. But it like it woke me up, and it made me like feel good going into the matches.
And I think you made Arlington history, right? You're the first girl wrestler to win a CIF championship, right?
Yes.
So you'll always be the first. Isn't that kind of cool to think, like, when you talk about the history of wrestling at Arlington, your name's going to be at the top of the list?
Yes, I'm very grateful for that. We've always had a small girls team. Like, we've never had many girls. So I'm glad to, like, be making history for our girls team. And hopefully it, like, draws more attention to our team and more girls can join and experience, like, the amazing sport.
All right, Jeslyn, let me ask you this. Because, again, you just mentioned it. Girls wrestling is still relatively new, right? So how did you start wrestling in the first place? How did you get introduced to the sport? Were you an athlete in another sport and you decided to try wrestling? I'm just curious how you got started.
So I've been in Taekwondo. I did that for 6-7 years. I got my black belt in there. I was helping instruct. I was volunteering hours in there, and every time like we were just doing throws, like we were like throwing people around, and then I was just like, oh, I like this, like this is fun. And one of my instructors are just like, why don't you try wrestling at your school? And I was like, I don't even think we have a girls team, like I don't even think I could join. But they were telling me like, it's okay, like you practice here with the guys. What's the difference with going in over there and practicing with guys? And they're just like, as long as you're giving your hardest and like you try, like you're gonna do amazing. So I just did it just for fun. I was just like, oh, like it's a new experience. I'm just started high school. I've never done a sport, and I wanted to be involved in school. I wanted to just like do something at school just to bring out my time and just to have like more fun and like get me more encouraged in school. And I was just like, okay, I'll try wrestling. I have the combat sport experience, so why not try something else? Because I love trying new things, especially with combat sports. Like I would train for jiu-jitsu a little bit. I would my instructors would teach me judo, so I love like the combat sports. I love that the intensity. So I was like, I'll try it, and I just did it just for fun. I didn't think I was gonna be good like at all. I didn't know anything about wrestling. I just like went into it just like, okay, we'll try it. We'll see how it is. I've never had any family that's done it, and it was just like, so it was completely new to me.
So are you a senior this year?
Yes, I'm a senior this year, and I started when I was a sophomore.
Sophomore. Okay, so this is your third year,
yes,
technically. Okay,
yes.
So you were telling me off air before we started the interview that you had a great season last year. You made it to Masters, but you had a shoulder injury, so you didn't really get to have a chance to put maybe your best effort forward. So how did that fuel you in any sort of way going into this season? Like, I'm a senior. Hopefully you're healthy, right now going into Masters, and hopefully stayed after that. So did last year, was it a little disappointing and it made you want to come back even hungrier this season?
Yes, of course it did. It made me really upset because I know with my injury, it affected me really bad just because I didn't have as much strength in my right arm. It was my right shoulder that was injured. And it was devastating because I know I could have done a lot better during my matches. I remember last year during my first round for Masters, I almost had the girl pinned a couple times, but I couldn't put any strength because of my injured arm. So it was really devastating to knowing that there was things holding me back that were out of my control. Which is really hard mentally, but I was really facing it and going through it at the time, and I was really hard on myself. But after I went through it all, I just it just made me more passionate about the sport. And I didn't think I was gonna get that far last year either. Like I just was working hard, and I've never been to any outside gyms during the time. And I was just purely off of just my coaches at Arlington and just putting in the time with me during summer. They would open up the mats for me. They would take me out there. They would just be pushing me, and it just made me more hungry. I saw that I'm able to make it there, and I was able to make it there injured. So I was just imagine how much better you could do if you're perfectly healthy and you're taking care of yourself. So that was the goal going into this year. After I finish, I was able to train with the Riverside Rascals over there at Ramona, and those coaches, they really pushed me. They really made me just a whole different wrestler, a whole way more aggressive, and they just taught me just to always make sure that I'm taking care of myself, and it just made me work a lot harder. and just to take care of my body more. Because also last season, I went from a big weight cut. I went from 170 to 145. So it was a big weight cut and it was hard. And I feel like that also what made me injured too, because I was really weak. But this year I like learned to take care of my body. I learned to like manage my weight and what weight class I want to go to. And I just feel like super strong. I've been going weightlifting. I'm learning to take care of my body in a good way. So I felt good going into the season, getting that extra practice and just taking care of myself and just learning more about the sport.
So, Jeslyn, I think you just answered my next question, but I'll ask you anyways. How do you feel right now going into Masters? Masters is coming up on Friday, just a couple days away. Are you, like you said, are you feeling strong? Nothing's hurting? You feel great mentally, physically, all those things?
Yeah, so physically, I feel amazing. Like, I feel like I'm in like the best shape of my life right now. Like, I feel so strong. I've been going to the gym a lot, like this year. Like, I really wanted, because instead of going 45s last year, I decided to go up a weight class to 55s. And I was like, oh, if I'm going to go that weight class, I need to build a lot more muscle. I need to work on my weight, and I just need to just try to get a good management and just like be strong. And I feel like I really accomplished that goal because I feel strong. I feel good. And, it's just like a whole like different feeling, but I'm hungry for it. And like mentally, I feel like I'm a lot better this year. Like I don't doubt myself. I'm much more confident in myself and in my wrestling. So I'm hungry for it. This is my last year. This is the last time I could like do this sport. I could do like really make a name for myself and my school. That's what I really want. I want to bring that state title for my school, because they've never had it especially as a girl. So I'm hungry for it. I want it really bad, and I'm just going to give it my all.
All right, Jeslyn, last question. So what do you think it will take to win at Masters and get to state and maybe finish at the top of the podium? What do you have to do well on the wrestling mat to win a couple championships and make more history for Arlington?
I think I just have to be really aggressive. I can't doubt myself. I have to stay confident with a good head, like good mindset and a good positive mindset with myself, and just reminding that I've trained for this, I've been working for this, and I want this title. I just need to be very aggressive, and I just have to wrestle like it's the last time I can wrestle, which it is. So that's all I got to do.
Well, Jeslyn, congratulations on the season so far, but I know you still have some really big goals in front of you the next couple of weeks here on the wrestling mat. That is Arlington High School's Jeslyn Ledesma, your 155-pound champion in the CIF Southern Section Central Division. And again, Masters coming up this week at Sonora High School in La Habra. Jeslyn, thank you for jumping on the Inland Sports Show. We really appreciate it, and best of luck this week.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Inland Sports. All right, awesome. Thank you for the interview, Jeslyn, and good luck at Masters. Also, good luck to Noah Watkins from Temecula Valley. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we will we will hear from Noah, one of the star wrestlers for the Golden Bears. In fact, they had 3 individual CIF champions. Noah was one of them as they wrapped up another section championship. We will be right back here on the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified on a Wednesday night. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. And as the football season wraps up across Southern California, turn to Sanitation Solutions for comprehensive laundry and athletic equipment services. They can take care of your weekly uniform laundry and end-of-season equipment inventory. And if you'd like to promote your business or organization on the show, send us an email. Help us share the positive sports stories here in the Inland Empire.
If you're the parent of a highly talented athlete, you need to manage that intensity. not feed it. Make sure they're not competing too often. Really be about academics first. Advocate quality practice while prioritizing rest. More importantly, place them around coaches and people who will empower them with the tools they can use beyond sports. Your boy, Boostman.
The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun. And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. Again, my name is Pep Fernandez. We appreciate you tuning in live and amplified on a Wednesday night. It is a great time of the year, championship time here in the IE for all of our high school sports. We were talking wrestling with Jeslyn Ledesma from Arlington in the first segment. More wrestling right now. We've got Temecula Valley's Noah Watkins, the football star. Also a pretty darn good wrestler as well. A CIF individual champion at 215 pounds, helping the Golden Bears win another section championship, 40 overall. And now he goes into Masters hoping to punch his ticket to the state meet up in Bakersfield. So let's check in with our guy, Noah Watkins, talking about the wrestling season so far for him and also looking ahead playing football in college. Here is Noah Watkins from Temecula Valley. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. We're going to hit the wrestling mat with Temecula Valley star Noah Watkins. And Noah, congratulations to you and all the Golden Bears on the wrestling team for winning a team CIF Southern Section title in the Inland Division. And also you won an individual title. Talk about all the success you guys have been having this year for the Golden Bears, because at Temecula Valley, one of the top wrestling programs in the state, you're expected to win, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. It's a cool experience, you know, especially growing up through this like kids club program, seeing, you know, high school kids do it before me, watching especially freshman year like MJ Gaitan, Ethan Perryman, those guys winning state. You know, it's really cool and exciting to be a part of a winning culture.
Yeah, you know, I'd imagine if you have your, you know, TV singlet or just even, I don't know, walking around town with a hoodie on that says Temecula Valley Wrestling, that must mean a lot, right? Because everyone knows the legacy of Temecula Valley Wrestling. Is that fair to say as well?
Yeah, and especially when, you know, the bleached hair comes into play too.
Do you stick out like a sore thumb out there? Yeah,
I do.
Well, Noah, so you won the Inland Division Championship at 215 pounds. Going into the meet, did you feel like you had a shot to win that CIF championship in your weight division, or were you kind of surprised? Talk about being able to finish on top of the podium.
I did. I was seeded number one, so I knew I was gonna have an easier time until the finals, and that came into play. Made it to the finals, and tougher guy, but ended up pulling through. And
then your team was able to win the Inland Division Championship as well. And that's the 40th overall section championship for Temecula Valley Wrestling. So you got the individual title. The team won a team championship. How awesome was that feeling? Talk about, just some of the feelings that you had knowing that you were able to bring home like your own title, but the team was able to celebrate as well.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm especially excited because I get my name on the wall. So all the CIF champions in the wrestling room get their name listed. And that's cool to see. And it's cool. I get my first ring.
All right, so Noah, I think you were one of 3 Golden Bears, right, to win a section championship. It was Ashton Lassig, I think, at 175, and
Yep.
Gabe Lemos at 144. Is that correct?
Yes, it was.
You want to give those guys a shout out? Like how good of
Yeah.
wrestlers are they? Obviously, they won championships as well.
Yeah, I love those guys. I've been teammates with them, known them since pretty much preschool, and it's fun to see all 3 of us, winning CIF together.
How tight are you guys? Not just with Gabe and Ashton, but like just that wrestling room at Temecula Valley. Obviously having years and years and years of success and all the league titles. What was it? 37 league championships, all the section titles. They're doing something right in the wrestling room at Temecula Valley. What's that environment like when you wrestle as a Golden Bear?
It's just we're all really close. A lot of us have grown up with each other, and it's just a bond from rooming in hotels, traveling to Utah, Idaho. It's something that just comes along with the sport.
All right, so Noah, next up, the Masters. Obviously, you want to get to the state meet up in Bakersfield. Do you feel like the Masters will be, I don't know, like it's a cliche, but a measuring stick for you to see like, okay, I'm one of the top, wrestlers in the Southern section. Where am I going to stack up maybe with the top that are going to qualify for state? Like, how do you approach Masters to find out like where you might kind of stack up with the rest of the guys?
Yeah, I've wrestled some of the guys that have similar ranks. They're tough guys. It's not going to be an easy, but I should make it through. Excited and make it to state for the first time in my high school career.
All right, so Noah, do you know where you're ranked at in the state in your weight class? Because I know we talk about the Southern section, but for example, the Central section's got a ton of powerhouses up in Clovis. I know Bakersfield High is obviously very good. San Diego's got Poway. They got some good teams down there. So the Southern section's got a lot of great programs, but there's a lot of other wrestlers across the state. So where do you kind of stack up?
Right now, I am currently ranked number 14.
So your goal number 1 is to make it to state. Goal number 2 is what, maybe get on the podium?
Yeah, that's the goal.
So Noah, you are a dual sport athlete for Temecula Valley High School. You are a tackling machine for the Golden Bears football team as well. You signed with Colorado Mesa to play football, right? I'm just curious, do they have a wrestling program? Or is this the end of the line for wrestling for you?
I was looking into wrestling for a bit. They were interested in me, but I decided, I just wanted to focus on football after this year, and I just want to accomplish what I want to accomplish in wrestling, hang the shoes up, and focus on football.
So Noah, as you prepare for Masters and then the state meet after that, do you find yourself maybe trying to soak it in a little bit more and maybe enjoying even practice or just being around the guys, knowing like, hey, I'm going to continue my football career, but this is kind of it for wrestling. I'm gonna really enjoy these last couple of weeks with my guys.
Yeah, and it's surreal, especially like going back at like I've grown up with a lot of these guys, seeing especially watching our heavyweight pretty much coming as a freshman as like the 3rd string starter. Now he's a state placer. It's gonna be hard, leaving that behind, but it's something I'll always remember.
All right, Noah, what was it about Colorado Mesa? The football program. Maybe they have a major that you want to study in. Maybe just like the campus. What was it about Colorado Mesa?
Number 1, they had my major. I want to go into sports management. Number 2, I noticed something there that it kind of felt like on the wrestling team. A lot of like close bonded people. They want to make you a better man. And see like take football out and see if they can like make an impact on your life, be a husband and father.
So Noah, at Colorado Mesa, do they see you as a linebacker? Do they see you as maybe like a hybrid linebacker safety? Like where do they kind of see you fitting in?
They see me as like a linebacker edge rusher.
Mm-hmm. Are you excited about that? Being able to, use, football to continue your education and get that experience?
Yeah, I'm pumped.
And what does your family think about it? Because Colorado's not too far away, but it's it's a flight. It's a plane flight away.
It is. They're happy. It's a nice area, and it's one of the closest D2 programs from where I'm at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot left on the West Coast right now, so Colorado Mesa is a good one out there. Noah, let me go back to wrestling, but also back to your blonde hair. Why the blonde hair? Why'd you bleach it?
It's a tradition. I know half of the story. It's like we showed up to a tournament. We're California kids from traveling from another state. And it was like a thing where they thought like we should all be blonde. We're all surfer dudes, and we're like bet. And then we showed up the next day, all blonde hair. And I think that was like 20 years ago.
The surfer guys from Temecula, right?
Yeah,
that's right. All right, Noah. Finally, let's wrap it up like this. So, what do you feel like you have to do well at the Masters meet, and then the CIF state meet after that? What do you think you have to do well to give yourself a chance to win a championship, or at least get to the state meet? What do you have to do well on the wrestling mat?
Yeah, I feel very confident with my top and bottom, game, but I think I need to continue to develop my neutral, and that's kind of been coming alive more in the postseason, which I'm pretty happy about. But I just got to execute on that more and taking better shots.
So even this late in the season, you feel like, man, there's still areas I need to clean up. I need to get better.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, Noah, listen, congratulations on a great season so far. The individual Inland Division Championship at 215, the team championship, another league title. That's 37 league titles. I think 37 consecutive, I should say, for the Golden Bears on the wrestling mat. Noah was a huge reason why, and he will continue his football career at Colorado Mesa. Noah, congratulations on all the success in football, in wrestling, in the classroom, everywhere, man. And best of luck at the Masters.
Thank you.
All right, that's Noah Watkins from Temecula Valley here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. There he is, Noah Watkins, the Golden Bear, here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, some boys volleyball. Yes, the boys volleyball season is already here. We're going to check in with our old pal, Jerry Langarica. He's the head coach of the Centennial Huskies, former head coach at Roosevelt. He's back in the area. He's back in the Big 8 League, and he's ready to mix it up with his Huskies. That's next here on the Inland Sports Show. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. And if you'd like to promote your business or organization on the show,
Is it important to have your kid on the A team? Absolutely not. If you have some serious goals for your young athlete, don't forget to focus on the bigger picture. Instead of trying to get them on the A team, focus on finding them a good coach. Coaches who attract the best players aren't always great developers, whereas a coach who can instill what your child needs to reach their potential, that's priceless. Boost man.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down and see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. Let's talk some high school boys volleyball at Centennial, the 10, as Jerry Langarica is the new head coach of the Huskies. He's back in the area. Former head coach at Roosevelt, was up at Chico State University, helping the Wildcats do the men's volleyball program, and then also helping Chico High up there launch boys volleyball. In fact, they're the only school up in the northern section at the time to have boys volleyball, and Coach Langarica, you could say he was the founding father of boys volleyball up there, but he's back down here. He's ready to mix it up in the Big 8 League, and he likes his group. He says they are improving and progressing very, very quickly and should be competitive in a tough Big 8 League. Here's our guy, Jerry Langarica. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show as we gear up for the high school boys volleyball season. Jerry Langarica, he's at the 10, as they call it, Centennial High School, coaching up the Huskies. Coach, are you excited about this Centennial gig?
I am actually. I am really excited. I got a young group with me, so I'm really excited to be back out here in the area.
Well, Coach, I know the high school boys volleyball season has already started. In fact, I think you've played a couple of matches, and you picked up your first win as the head coach of the Huskies. Yeah. Was it a tournament? How did that go?
Yeah, we were just at Portola this past weekend. We did pretty well. We competed against some teams that normally are in way, way higher divisions than we are, but we competed and we got our first win of the season.
So when you go to a tournament like this and you've got a relatively new and young team, is it important? I mean, those matches, are they have extra significance, I guess I should say, when in terms of seeing the team improve, just getting more time on the court with one another before you get to league play and hopefully ultimately the playoffs right at the end of the season?
Yeah, I think it's a great way to start to test the team, especially if they're young. I'm a big believer of go take your team and test them out. Go battle test them, because in tournaments when you get the opportunity to play against teams that play at a higher level, it's your opportunity to to make the impossible happen. You go chase the giants. You're supposed to be taken down by the giants, but how cool it would be if you do take a giant down. So I think that's the mentality and the mindset that I like my teams to go into when they go into tournaments with higher division teams.
So what impressed you about your Huskies at this tournament?
I think that they are very good at just trucking along. I think that they're young, but they can see the flashes of greatness that they have and that they're going to be, especially because I have 3 starting sophomores in the rotation and 3 juniors as well. So it's a very, very young team in that department, and I'm excited to kind of come and add my little, my spices to it and get them to play at a little bit higher level than what they're used to, and just to see them out there that they can compete with anybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, if people watch the show, they know you've done the show before. At the time, you were the head coach at Roosevelt. Have you evolved as a coach? Do you do anything differently? Maybe year after year, do you kind of, maybe not even like the X's and O's part, but maybe the way you handle practices, the way you schedule games, anything like that?
Yes. I left Roosevelt and I went back to college. So I was fortunate enough to go finish my degree. And while doing that, I got the opportunity to coach a college team. So I coached the men's team at Chico State. And that was a big challenge and opened my eyes to completely different ways to look at coaching, especially the sport, but also how to approach individuals. And so I get to bring that to the table now being back in the area. And also I'm a little older. I feel like I've reached that stage where every year feels like a couple years. So I feel like the wisdom is it's adding up. So yes, it's different things. I mean, volleyball evolves, coaching evolves, and I'm always learning from people. I don't know everything. That is my biggest weapon as a coach, and something that I feel like I'm the most proud of because it allows me to explore with coaching and with the game. So yeah, I'm excited to be back in the Big Eight to stir things up a little bit.
Well, Coach, I used to cover the Chico State Wildcats at Old Acker Gym back in the day. So
really?
Yeah, I sure did.
Cool.
Do you feel like, and it sounds like you already answered this, but do you feel like you're a better coach, for having that experience, to being around another program, to see how other coaches do it? And now you can bring it back down to the high school level and get another chance as a head coach, with the Huskies now.
I mean, most definitely, because I love to be part of programs that, require that extra attention to detail and that maybe have not had as much success in the past. And I like to, challenge myself and seeing like how high can I take this program? That is my thing. How many goals can we achieve? And so Chico State was pretty cool because it was a rebuilding year. Well, it was supposed to be a rebuilding year, but I said let's add some of the SoCal magic of volleyball, and I took that team in that year to top 25 in Division I, so top 25 in the nation. So that clearly opened my eyes to a completely new level of volleyball, and so yeah, I'm really happy to bring that back down to these guys.
Well, Matt Logan, the football coach at Centennial, he's a Chico State guy as well. There's tons of Wildcats on campus now.
I know that when I first got here, everybody's super awesome, very welcoming. All the coaches from different sports, and then when I found out about him, I had a hat from Chico, and I walked up to him and I was like, "Take a look at this," and then he saw it and he showed me something that he had as well from Chico State. So that was pretty
his
cool.
Tattoo. It's got to be his tattoo, right?
Yeah. I'm not getting one. I love Chico State, but I'm not getting one. I know that's like a big thing of like showing love to Chico State.
Sure.
But no.
Well, Coach, I know, listen, the season just began, but when you look forward to Big 8 league play, obviously there's some good programs in the Big 8 league, but do you feel like even though the Centennial team might be leaning on the younger side, this is a team that might be able to compete for a league title, or a playoff spot just to get into the CIF postseason?
I think you've known me a little bit long enough now, Pep. And I think this team it's young, but it's hungry. And I think, it's going to take more than me just saying you're a great team and you're going to be successful and you're going to have a great season. I need to start to show them. I need to start to, take them to these tournaments where they can see it for themselves. And I think once we start to get season going, we got a couple more games this week. And we got some pretty tough teams in our from the Inland Empire that are going to really test us and let us know where we stand and give us a good insight about how we're going to go into league play. But I think I've been around in this league for several years. I think we're gonna give everybody a run for their money, and I'm really excited for that. So I think you'll definitely get to hear if we are making some impact on here.
So, Coach, you feel like, obviously, kind of like what you said about Chico State, it was supposed to be a rebuilding year, but instead you guys, had a great successful season. Do you feel like maybe Centennial is similar in that way? Like, hey, you know what? Maybe this season we're supposed to lay the foundation for the future, but it sounds like you're like, no, let's win right now. Let's get battle tested. Let's play some good teams. Let's win right now.
I'm going to tell you this. I got hired in December. And as soon as I got hired, I put them into tournaments, into winter league tournaments. We just finished one where there was over 100 teams in this specific winter league tournament, and we finished in like the top 10. So you are correct. Why wait? If we can do it now, why wait? But there is that cushion of there's that learning. There's that learning that needs to happen. There's that chemistry that needs to be developed. But if we have it now, why not? Why not have the season that we can have with the current pieces that we have, and put in that extra work and believe a little bit that we can do it. I will be honest, they are still figuring me out. That they're still, seeing like it's understandable. They've only been with me 2 months, so they're like, what is this guy about? Mm-hmm. What is he capable of, to be completely honest? They don't know that it's like, my teams run fast. My teams play fast. My team plays fast, and they don't give up. And it's a thing that it's learned at practice. And so they're still figuring me out, and don't let us click on that, because then you'll definitely be like, oh, okay, they're not waiting till next year to show what they got. We're going to do it this year.
So, Coach, if you like to play fast, aggressive, is that the way you practice as well? Is that the standard that the players know? Like, hey, when you show up to practice every day, you're going to put in work. Like, we're gonna practice how we want to play.
I think what I've learned, and what you've asked earlier about like what I've taken from previous years or coaching, if I'm different, I think I've taken a really cool approach to coaching and to practice. And it's like, there are times where we can be intense. There are times where, with the sport, where you just need your diving reps out of the way and understand the concept. And then there's other days where you have to do surgery on a skill. And we really have to dive in and really understand the why. So then when we constantly see it out when we're playing, it's not like a leaking faucet and we're losing a lot of points, because once you start to play at a higher level, those little 2-3 points matter. So I like that. I like how it's, sometimes it's fast, and other times it's like, all right, let's stop and let's do some surgery and see what pieces are working and why, and how do we fix it so we don't have to come back to it again. So yeah, that's a little bit of my approach. So maybe that's why they're still figuring me out.
Well, let me ask you this, Coach. Last question here. So, even though you've only had the team for what you say, like 2 months, maybe a little over 2 months, I mean, from when you took over the team to where you are right now at the start of this season, have you seen growth or improvement even in that small window of time with one another?
Yes, I can clearly see it. I think if you were to ask my boys, I am their biggest cheerleader. I am like their biggest cheerleader. I'm their biggest fan. I'm their biggest, supporter. But at the same time, I am their biggest critic. I am their biggest, person to enforce on playing the skills and doing them correctly and doing everything how it needs to be done step by step. So you can see that, you can see the growth. You can see it on the court. You can see it in them playing, and then the pieces clicking. So yes, definitely, especially how we started in those winter tournaments to where we ended. Big difference. And I think it's just going to be even more different for once playoffs come, because there's a goal that I have with every team is we want to host. I want the team to host a CIF game. That is a goal. Mm-hmm. It's we're in not just make the tournament, but host a game. Host the tournament at your site. I think that's a pretty big deal, and I think that's a really cool goal to always have.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, it's always good catching up with you. So excited to have you at Centennial now, back in the Big 8 League, and like you said, trying to stir it up with the Huskies this season, Coach. So best of luck this year, man. Good catching up with you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You got it. That is Jerry Langarica from Centennial High School here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. Coach Jerry, man, always bringing it here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, we've got a bonus segment here on the show. We usually go 3 segments. We're going 4 because we're going to talk high school basketball, Pauley and Rancho Verde, that big game last night in the Division II AA boys basketball playoffs. And we're going to hear from our guy, Alexander Madison. He's back home in San Bernardino in the offseason, getting ready to find out what he's going to do next year. He played for the Raiders this past season. He'd like to be back with the Raiders, but he will become a free agent. We love our guy, Alex. We're going to hear from him next here on the Inland Sports Show right after this. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. And if you'd like to promote your business or organization on the show, send us an email. Help us share the positive sports stories here in the Inland Empire.
This is Centennial boys basketball coach Josh Giles, and you are watching the Inland Sports Show.
Should your child lift weights before hitting their growth spurt? I get this question a lot from parents, and the simple answer is yes. Think of it as a long accumulation phase where athletes get modest gains in strength, power, and coordination. And when their growth spurt does hit, often it's to a larger degree than athletes who didn't lift weights at all. So remember, develop early, specialize late. Your boy, Boost Man.
The Utah Jazz are not very good. So that first game for Luka, obviously they hammered Utah, and then they go on the road and play Utah, and then they lose. It's like, well, okay, the real Lakers are probably somewhere in between. They're not going to score 70 points by halftime every single game like they did in that first game against Utah. And at the same token, they're not probably going to get beat by Utah on most nights either. So I think it's going to take some time to pan out. But man, Luka had some crazy passes. I forget, he's a big time scorer, but I forget how well he sees the court.
Right. You can see some flashes here. That's why I think once they kind of gel together a little bit and really start trusting each other, they could be, because LeBron, when he's about to take that last shot, he'll kick it to somebody.
Yeah.
And I think both of us feel now he's really got somebody to kick it to.
Yeah, I think Luke is one of those guys where he's, he wants the ball in his hands. He wants to take that last shot. He was that guy in Dallas. So he was that guy, even with Kyrie Irving there. It was Luka's team. He was the bona fide superstar. So again, him and LeBron coexisting, both finding their shots, both getting their points. I think it'll happen, but it was kind of a little rocky road the first 2 games.
Right. I think they will eventually be able to work off of each other. It's kind of like having two great wide receivers.
Yes.
You got to cover one of them, and that's going to leave the other one open.
You would think, right? Like something's going to happen. You can't put all your attention on just one guy. No. So LeBron might have a big night, and then Luka have a big night, back and forth. So you pick your poison with the Lakers. And finally, some NFL news. You know, we were talking about the Raiders and Pete Carroll taking over the team there as the head coach. Well, I ran into our guy, Alexander Madison, running back for the Raiders. And he was telling me, I didn't realize this, when he signed with the Raiders last year after that 5-year run with the Vikings, he's a free agent. And he's like, I love Pete Carroll. He's a proven winner. I want to play for Pete Carroll. He's like, but I'm going to hit free agency next month, and I don't know where I'm going to end up. But he wants to go back to the Raiders. That's his ideal situation. But your guy, Pete Carroll, Patrick, he's got to make a decision. You know, I mean, I think Alex is almost 27, so it's not like he's old. But running backs, you know, they have a small window to make their money and have some good seasons.
Well, let's hope that they can fit, because he is a hard runner, and Pete loves that.
Inland Sports. Hanging out with my boy Patrick in the morning on KCal 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning, talking about it all. We're talking NFL, college football, NBA, Dodgers, you name it, we hit it. That is KCal 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning. Now we talk about our guy Alexander Madison too. We talk Raiders football on KCal. Alex is back home. He's back in the San Bernardino area for this offseason. I know the new NFL season begins in March, where free agency will begin. Alex signed a 1-year deal with the Las Vegas Raiders after 4 years with the Minnesota Vikings. He would like to stay in Las Vegas, but, you know, will Pete Carroll, the new head coach, have him in his plans going into the future? Nonetheless, I mean, he's going to play in the NFL somewhere. He'd like to be with the Silver and Black. So he talked about coming back home to San Bernardino. I caught up with him at Cardinal City Arena, and he's got a lot of fond memories being back on campus at San Bernardino High School. So we talked about that and his NFL future. Here is one of our favorite guys, not only football guys, but just favorite guys, period, the great Alexander Madison. Inland Sports.
Man, I mean, the memories of just Coach Graham running 10 pounds out of me on this here court, that comes back every time I talk to him. He always brings that up, and he's like, I remember that day you were going to walk away, but he gave me that speech of, it's going to make me better. It's going to make me a better football player. And look, I already did the workout, so I might as well stay. So here I am, having experience playing what it's like to play for Cardinal City basketball, the best that there is, and I'm excited for these guys. I'm proud of them. They came out here today, handle business. Hope that they go to the next round and do the same thing.
Now, you were a wrestler, right?
Yeah.
So did they ever try to get you to do basketball?
So I did basketball first, my sophomore year, and then after that, I was recruited by the wrestling team as well, and I thought to myself, I'm more of a rebounder in basketball anyway. I'm not the one out there shooting buckets and getting points and all that, so why not give wrestling a try? They told me I didn't have to lose weight, so for me that was beautiful. I was trying to keep on the weight so I can pull in some scholarships. But yeah, on that side of the gym, we were rolling out the mats and getting to it my junior year, senior year.
All right, finally, Alex, you got a new head coach and Pete Carroll. You're going to the offseason right now. Are you excited about what the future looks like for the Silver and Black?
Yeah. I mean, you look at the track record of Pete Carroll. I mean, you can't do anything but anticipate that greatness is going to be born there. He has a winning culture, and hopefully, you know, he brings that about. For me, I'm hoping that, you know, I'm on that team. I'm coming off a year and going into free agency, so do the best that I can to stay in Vegas, but we'll see what happens.
Alex is one of the best dudes, and be sure to look for his next I Am Gifted Athletes of the Month from his hometown of San Bernardino. He does it each and every month. One boy and one girl from San Bernardino, and he'll have his I Am Gifted Athletes of the Month probably on the next Inland Sports Show, so look for that. Now, this week we had double big boost plays of the week. We had an early edition, and then we had the wrestling one, Jeslyn Ledesma from Arlington. But here was the first one. It was too good to hold on to. We had to hurry and get that on social media. Here we go. Inland Sports. It was the Valley View boys soccer team going on the road, taking on Redlands East Valley at Redlands High School, Dodge Field. And check out the super sophomore, Steven Morales. The effort, the left-footed strike, and what a shot by Morales. Valley View beat the Wildcats by a final score of 2-1 in that first-round Division II game. They would go on to win their next round game against Newberry Park 5-1. So if you are watching us live and amplified here on Wednesday night, Valley View is playing Artesia in the Division II quarterfinals right now. But that goal by Morales, one of our Big Boost play of the week. So a great goal there. Now our Kin Sporting Goods must-see game, and it was an easy one. You already knew it was going to be. Riverside Poly against the Rancho Verde in boys basketball, the final installment, the final chapter of the Bears versus Mustangs trilogy. They met 2 times in Ivy League play. Poly won the first meeting. Rancho Verde won the second meeting. It all came down to their Division II AA quarterfinal game, and it was the Riverside Poly Bears winning by a final score of 49-47, a low-scoring, physical slobber knocker as the Bears have moved on to the 2AA semifinals. Now, potentially, I say potentially, Riverside Poly could play Centennial in the championship game. Both Centennial and Poly are in the semifinals. Poly, let's see if I can pull up the brackets. Poly's going to play Fairmont Prep in the semifinals. That game will be on the road for the Bears. So they're going to go on the road on Friday night in 2AA in their semifinal game. And let's see, Centennial, they will be at home on Friday night as they take on Pacifica Christian. So if Poly wins and Centennial wins in the semifinals, it would be Centen against Poly for the CIF Southern Section Division II AA Championship. That would be epic. That would be another Kin Sporting Goods must-see game right there, right? That'd be amazing. But first things first, they both got to win in the semifinals coming up on Friday. All right, a big thanks to all of our guests tonight. Jeslyn Ledesma, Arlington wrestler. Noah Watkins, Temecula Valley wrestler. We had Jerry Langarica. He is the Centennial boys volleyball coach. Our guy Alexander Madison, Las Vegas Raiders running back. Really appreciate all their time. And next week, we'll preview the championship games for high school basketball and high school soccer. And we might even dabble in a little baseball and softball as we kind of hedge into the spring sports season. If you're watching us live and amplified, or if you're watching the replay, give this video a like and subscribe to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. We would appreciate it. We got more than 4,000 subscribers. We'd love for you to be one of them if you haven't done so already. Guys, God bless you guys. Stay safe out there. And until next time, we will see you on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night, everybody.